Are you ready to get intimate? What is intimacy? And where and how do you find it? Welcome to the Getting Intimate podcast, a daring journey into the heart of intimacy with you, your senses, the whole world, and all the creatures in it. So welcome back to this Getting Intimate podcast. And today we're exploring a concept that bridges the gap between hard science and magic. Have you ever wondered what physically happens in your brain when you finally let go of a limiting belief? My guest today is Juanjo Suárez Vunesa, or Juanjo, which is easier for me to say, so I'm going to say that. He's an osteopath and a physiotherapist specializing in, I think it's psychoneuroimmunology, just very great title. And he has basically spent years mastering the physical intricacies of the body. And then his journey took this fascinating turn when his work collided with energy work. And he's recently published a book called The Neuroscience of Access Consciousness. And in it, he does something truly awe-inspiring. He marries scientific research with holistic energy tools like access bars that we've talked a lot about in this podcast. And he explains how these modalities can physically and even mechanically shift our bodies out of a chronic state of survival and into coherence. So welcome, Juanjo.
Hi, Katerina. Thank you so much for this invitation. Thank you so much for this space. It's a pleasure for me to talk about all these things that is in the book now and that the people is enjoying it. And this is the funnest part.
Yeah. Yes, I understand. Like you worked on this book for so long. I know that one well. And then when it finally goes out into the world, it's like it comes alive again. It comes alive even more. It has like its own entity, the book.
Yes, it was like very interesting to acknowledge this energy, this own energy of the book, because it's like interesting the way that the book was creating or co-creating with me. It's not just a thing of my brain. It's like the own energy in the book that the people is enjoying now.
Yeah. Well, it actually leads me to one of my first questions. So in the book, you talk about being a problem solver. And I'm also a problem solver in recovery. And then you described how you had your first access consciousness session and how you literally it perceived like you were short circuiting because all your life you've been trying to find the problem you had to solve. So could you kind of describe what that was like from, being this very analytical, highly academically trained, physiotherapist, and then discover that you had to surrender to something that defies logic?
That moment when I start looking the access tools, it was very interesting how my brain start in a different function. Like I didn't see more the problems. I start to find the way out, to go out of these problems and different possibilities. And your body feels different with this only just changing with the question that we have in access.
But how do you explain that? Like in the book, how do you explain that you can get a session, and we go a little deeper into that later, but that you can get a session that actually, if we just look at this going from problem to, not looking for problems, how could a session where you're not talking about problems, you're not, cognitively trying to understand that, yes, I could have a different reward system in my brain, how do you explain that? Like, how could that change occur? It's like a rewiring of the brain, but how would you explain that?
When I was in my session, it was a facilitating session with Bruno, and I start talking with him about all these things that was happening in my life in that moment. And we have physically changes in the body. So when you are in a resolve problems mode, let's say, You are like more tense, more contraction in your body. You have more blood in your hands to fight or to resolve these things. And when you change this thing, your body starts sending more blood to your chest, to your belly, to your organs, to change all these things. Okay, so in my experience, it was like very interesting because I have all this awareness and all the sense in my body. And when I was talking with Bruno, it was interesting how my body started to give me this physical change, like my nose get wet, and physical change in in my hands. My hands got like a little bit more cold. So the physical change are interesting because your body is like responding to your brain orders. So if your brain says something or your brain hears something, your brain just send information to your body and change the mode that you are in this moment. And
Right.
if
So you're saying that you were actually able to perceive the change that was occurring in the brain that was occurring because you perceive it in your body. Is that what you mean?
Yes, it's the connection. Do you know the brain receives 80% of the information from the body. So the body is the like the biggest way to send this information, and your body just respond to the and your brain just respond to the sensation, to this information, and then change in your body. So it's like a way up and down information going all these things. And when you have a session, your body start to feeling like more safe, let's say.
You know, as an osteopath, you or physiotherapist, all of it, you were trained to work physically with the body.
Yeah.
And I know you've discovered like bars, the access bars, and how a gentle touch really directly influences the vagus nerve, it influences fascia. Why do you think that society or reality today are so conditioned to believe that healing has to be brought by medicine or adjustment rather than touch?
You know, that is the biggest thing of the power of a point of view. You know,
Ah,
the first thing that we have, it's when you born, we have this information that your body is bad, that your body gets old, that your body gets sick, that your body it's every time doing wrong. And the medicine and all this things around the medicine, they say your body is bad and we need to fix that. So
right.
if you need to fix something, you need to repair something, the change have to come from outside and not from you. And if you change this point of view, that okay, if I there was an investigation very weird that made a long time ago during the second world war with babies, and they put babies like alone, and they put babies with the mothers. And the babies with the mothers, when they touch the baby start to grow, the baby was happy, the baby was very healthy. And the babies that was alone start to die in 2 days. If they just came, let the I don't know how to say the name, they get the milk, the milk to the babies, and just that put in again in the bed, the babies start to die very quick, because the
Yeah.
touch is very important to the body. The touch is very important to our bodies. And all this information it's interesting, and we have it. But this industry here say no, it's not good. It's better if you put something out of you, or you take some pills, or you do something outside of you. And this is the power of point of view, because you depend of the system, and no depends of yourself.
So how have you experienced this when you work with clients now and you use, you start to include the access tools in your work? What do you perceive? What do you see? What do you observe in your clients?
One of the things is when my patients, when I start to asking what point of view do you have about these things? And we are finding more points of view. These beliefs that they have very solid start to coming down, and the body start to change, and the situations start to change, because it's not like a way that I have, like a platform that I have on my life. It's getting on all these things. So one of the very powerful tools is interesting point of view. And when you just ask the people, okay, what's the point of view about it? What this is point of view of this thing in your body, in the situation that you're living now, the people is start to unblock certain things that may come even in the first years.
Well, you talk about, I mean, you use your own childhood as one example in the book. You talk about how you kind of hardwired your parents divorced over financial
Yeah.
struggles. I think you're right. And then you kind of hardwire, okay, money causes separation. I have to stay away from money. So could you talk about yourself as an example of how that changed for you when you got to that
Yes.
awareness?
It was very interesting, because money always come to my life with ease, but I don't have money, or I didn't have money in the past, because the sensation in the body was very weird when I have money. So I prefer to spend it, and don't have it. So the thing was, when I was talking with Bruno, he asked me about these points of view, and I say, okay, my parents get divorced, and it was for money, just money. So when we can separate these things, the reality start to change, because I can have money now in my wallet, and I don't feel this uncomfortable sensation with money. And all the things that we have in our brain, it's about our sense. So with what we see, what we smell, what we touch. So if you see your parents fighting for something, your brain will do some kind of relation about all the things are around to
Yeah.
to keep you safe. So when I separate these things, all this money reality start to change in my life.
Well, you call it pensation, something like where it's like thought and sensation are mixed. Could you maybe show that or talk about that, like that particular concept?
Yes, a practical concept of that is when you thought something and you feel it in your body in that moment. Okay, so let's say if you're eating something, okay, you're eating something and you say, oh shit, it's too much, I will get fat with this thing. You have this thought, and
Yeah.
your body start to contract and feeling the sensation, the uncomfortable of eating. Okay, and
Right.
you have this done, and your body make it real in that moment.
Wow. Yes. And how can I interrupt it? Like, so if I notice, okay, this is what I'm doing, I'm having this point of view about the food I'm eating, I'm thinking this, I can perceive in my body, okay, I'm literally having a sensation on my own point of view. So how do I interrupt the point of view?
Yes, you can use another tool of access consciousness, that it's a question. It's who belongs this thought. Okay.
Ah,
When I hear it, when I saw this information, from who is coming to me. So when you use these tools, your body said, oh, maybe it's not my idea. Maybe it's not my point of view. It's another one, and you can get out in that same moment, because it's just like recognize that it's not yours. And when your brain said, oh, it's not mine, I can relax with this thing. So that's the magic of the tools, of the access tools, because they works like immediately, and just change and just switch something in your brain.
you also have this other, I really loved your way of describing another tool from Access Consciousness. These are really basic tools of Access Consciousness. And
Yeah.
if you listen to this and you haven't heard of these tools, if you want to find out more, a lot of them are described on YouTube. They're everywhere. So this is not like, they are actually there for you to start using today. But one
Yeah.
of the tools that I really loved, you described light and heavy as a hot balloon, I think. So I was
Yeah.
wondering if you could, describe that as you do, and also maybe so the listener could start using that one, because I really love it's the simplicity of it.
It's interesting because we have a certain area in our brain. It calls hippocampus, and the hippocampus have this facility to see the future, to sense the future, and all these things just with your body. Okay, with the contraction and with your heartbeat. It's one of the things that it's interesting. Okay, so if you are going to see with your friends, and you have this sense in your body that it's relaxed, that it's your brain, it's beating like very soft, very calm, your body is feeling safe in this situation. If you don't have this situation, if your body start to contract very very hard, and you have this sensation of heaviness in your body, it's because your body is letting you know that it's not a good choice. And that's happened because the DNA of the people is like connected each other, and the heartbeat too. So if you are going in a business, I don't know, and this business is like wrong and have something weird there, your heart will sense the heart of that people, and you will feel the heaviness of that thing. So don't get in, because your body is letting you know that the situation is not going good.
Trust your trust your senses in that way. Trust
Yes.
your
And it's
well,
like very easy, because it's just like being present with your body, and the sensations in your body, how it goes, how it's showing up in that moment.
so how has your colleagues and different people that you worked with in your life or studied with received this book? Like, how do they find it fascinating? Are they interested?
Yes, it was very funny, because I made this book because I want to understand more how the energy works in the body. And I say maybe there's more people like me, like thinking in the same way about uh, they want to understand too. And it's interesting because some people who has read the book, they say me, wow, Juanjo, now I understand more myself. I understand more my body. And it's interesting because in one part of the book, I put this phrase, I hope you get in love with you again. And it's fascinating to know that you are changing every time, that you are not bad, that you are not, if you get in a survivor mode, it's not bad. It's just a function on your body. And if you see your body changing all the time with these tools, with this information, it's great for you, because you say, oh, my body is working very good. And now I know I can switch it, I can change it, I can update this thing, not because it's bad, it's just because it's another way to do it.
What do you believe, or what do you know actually our bodies are actually capable of that we haven't even started to explore?
I was looking I interview another day in the program, and it's a person, a doctor, who has a surgery in the thyroid. They have some surgery, and they get out the thyroid, and she was doing like using this holistic tools, and she was asking in her body, how can we have ease with this body, can we create these hormones with ease, body, can we show a different way. And the doctor who made the ultrasound in her, she was taking the pills, and in 3 or 4 months she was getting bad with the pills. So she went again with the ultrasound guy, and he said, what happened here? And he brings the records, and he brings the clinic history, and he say, I take out your thyroid, and now you're having another one. So when I look at that, I say, what the hell is this? The body is recreating itself. If you have the awareness, and if you have the allowance to work in that way with your body. So I don't know what body can do. It's amazing what is showing now, in a lot of cases, in a lot of people, and we are looking it in the social media and in YouTube. You have a lot of these people who are
Yeah.
talking about themselves.
So, what would you say has been like the most surprising thing that you have learned about energy? Because you said you wrote this book to learn more, to find other people. Like, but what is or one of the most surprising things that you found out about you, about your body, about the world when it comes to energy?
Wow, the more surprise thing for me was when I get my first body 3 day body class. It was interesting because you know what, like a body worker, you have to do the techniques, you have to move the
Yeah.
tissue, you have to put some pressure, and you know it's like pass to pass to have a result in the body. And when I was in my first day in my 3 day body class, it was amazing because I was asking like from this curiosity. And when the guy that was doing the practice with me just putting his hands on me, I just get asleep. But it was a very deep sleep
Mm.
for me, and it was like when I get up again, it was like, what happens here? Because I feel changes in my body about the tension, about the breathing, about a lot of things. And I say, they are not doing the things that I do. They are not moving tissues. They are just putting hands and change the energy. So it's like the command, the intention, or just your awareness to change something in the body, it
Mm.
will produce a change in the body. So it was like, okay, maybe energy don't have to be understanding. You just need to receive. And I could say this receiving the energy was the very surprise for me, because I open myself to just receive energy when I'm sitting here, when I'm doing my job, when
Mm.
I'm in the car. I try to open myself to receive the energy, and it's interesting how your body start to change and how your life start to change just with this awareness to receive, to open to receive the energy.
And we also have this, I think you're right about that in the book at the very end. Like, we have a choice. What energy am I being? I can
Yeah.
actually change the energy I am being. So maybe finally you could talk a little bit about that, because that's something we can invite all the listeners to try.
Yeah, and this is amazing how it works between your reality and your body. You know, in this psychoneuroimmunology monology, you have this like this law inside. If you think you have a thought in your brain, you create hormones. If you
Right.
create hormones, you change the function in your body. Okay, so if I have this thought, I am sad, I will create that hormones in my body.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am being the sadness in that moment.
Mm.
So it's different if I have a thought, okay, I am happy, and my brain said, okay, so I create that hormones and I'm being happiness in that moment.
Mm.
So let's say in this thing with the books that are in custom in this
Yeah.
moment, I
Yeah.
could say, okay, I can be sad or be mad or be angry with these things, and I'm being others in these energies. So, like I'm like a book. I would want to go with you that you're sad, you're angry. Maybe no. Okay, so okay, if I change, if I been patience, if I been happiness, if I been allowance, the book could say,
Enthusiasm.
oh, I like to go there, I don't want to be here in this
Mm.
custom, this book. I want to go and play with you. And you can change the energy around you, just being a different energy to invite the people. It's like I said in that moment, if you have this I don't know, this business with some people that is angry. They are very worried about something, and you just came out being happiness, and you say, okay, this is something we're here, so I can enjoy with these people. I can share my happiness, or I can be aware about what's happening here. But it's just if you ask in the first moment, what energy I'm being in this moment, what hormones I'm using in this moment to have this connection with my body.
Well, it's because it also ties back to the very first thing we talked about with the problem solving, because it's really like with these tools, with this way of working with energy, you actually have a choice where you don't need to do what everyone else does. You actually have a choice to be you and be you
Yeah.
with your body in a whole different way. I know you don't have access to the books yet, but people can find the books online, correct? Like it's in basically all over the world on Amazon and on Barnes and Noble. I found it all over. Is there anything you would like to add to somebody who's picking up the book? Some question they could ask?
Well, I think the biggest invitation that I have with this book is to be curious with you and your body and your brain, and just use this tool to know what happened, to see what happened. Don't have an expectation. Don't go and read the book like that you know you have to know something, or you have to learn something about. Just play with the book, but because the book has this energy of, okay, let's play with questions. Let's play with this interesting point of view. Let's play with the tools, and let's see what happened. And if you see the changes, you will see like, oh, it's very easy to do these things, and you can use this ease in your life to create more with you, with your body. So the invitation is just play with the book.
Thank you. And thank you so much for coming on and talking about it and telling us about your journey to write this book.
Thank you so
You.
much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Intimacy can be a pretty wild ride, filled with both longing and apprehension. But what if the vulnerability of intimacy isn't something to be avoided, but celebrated? What if getting intimate is the key to finally coming alive? Discover more with guests from all walks of life and your host, Katerina Valentin. Welcome.